Welcome to Everybody Studios. This is Everybody in Charlotte, a series of 15-minute conversations highlighting the people of Charlotte making a difference. Lawrence Gordon, welcome to Everybody Studios.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Glad to have you here, man. I always start with my guests by talking about, discussing, sharing how we know each other. Some of my guests I've known my whole life. Some I just met for the first time.
Yeah, literally.
Literally. I did see you from a distance, and I may have shaken your hand at the
George Lynch Invitational.
At the George Lynch Invitational.
Yeah.
But I do know that you're friends with my buddy Patrick Balsley, and that's how we connected, and I have since followed you. So we don't know each other very well. I've gotten to know you in the last 20 minutes, and it has been fascinating to learn what you do, and I'm excited to dig into that here and share with our guests, share with our audience, God, man, all you have going on and your personal mission and how it evolved. It's really fascinating. I wish we were recording our previous conversation. First, I got to do some personal questions. And this is just kind of a fun, get-to-know-you kind of thing. But the first question is, what do you think of when I say the hardest you've ever laughed?
Wow. So the crazy thing about it is just yesterday, we live in this real society on social media. And so literally yesterday, I was watching something. I laugh hard every day, at least once.
Oh, yeah. I do
so
too.
Yesterday, I was watching this reel on Facebook. And the lady was coming out of her house, and a snake came out of nowhere. Man, when I tell you, this lady face planted on her, she just went to go run and just face planted and started crawling. And the guy that was coming up with a shovel, yeah, it was like a little garden snake, and the guy with the shovel was like you could tell they was deep. In the country, he was like, Betsy, you gonna kill yourself, and he got a shovel, and the lady, all you could see her, because you could look at it through her security camera,
right?
So they must have pulled the footage off the security camera. Yeah, you could see her rolling from out of the picture into the ground. It was hilarious. I was in stitches.
I gotta tell you, man,
I watched that 20 times.
Exactly, So far, I've had, 12, 15 people in here, and I asked that question, and everybody tells a funny story. Everybody says, oh, my mom fell, or I fell, or my best friend, or whatever.
It always had to do with somebody falling.
It's something silly. But nobody has answered, which I find to be literally every day, I laugh my ass off at a reel on social media. Yes,
every day.
It's thumbing through.
Listen,
stuff is funny.
Reels are undefeated.
They are undefeated.
And you can see how, so I have older kids, 14, 13, and I'm on them about being on YouTube or too much because they're not on social media. But listen, the amount of time I watch reels just in a moment where I can just sit there and just go through
15 minutes.
Easily 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah. I'm being modest.
And I don't want to get too far. But another is The Bushman. Do you watch that?
I don't.
You don't watch The Bushman? Yeah. You got to look this stuff up.
I will, because I watch a lot of it.
It's a guy that's in a pot, like a plant pot.
Oh, and he jumps out and scares people.
He just stands up. That's all he does. All he does is just moves.
Like in a mall or something?
No, he's on a sidewalk. And he just he'll throw a piece of the bush in front of you, and you'll stop and look. Yeah. Where'd that come from? And he'll just stand up, and
fall down.
Oh my gosh, people. It is I don't know why that's so funny to me, but in the content, this guy creates new content. All the time, and I'm just watching it. He sucks me in. It's hilarious.
Yeah, so people laugh at different things, clearly. But and my daughter and I, every night, our little bonding thing is to watch fail vids. We just watch people busting and falling and doing all this crazy stuff. But so many of them are scare vids of people hiding and jumping out and scaring people.
How do we like that so much?
I don't know. Because my daughter doesn't think it's that funny. She thinks it's pretty funny. I think it's the funniest
I
thing
think
ever.
my son like watch these YouTube videos, try not to laugh videos.
Oh yeah, I watch those.
And some of them aren't funny. I'm like, and he's just dying laughing. I'm like,
Oh, no.
that's not funny, right? I'm laughing at him. Like
Right.
I'm not even laughing at the video. I'm just laughing at him because of how corny it is. I'm just like, why are you laughing at this?
It's so
But
good.
no,
It's like the new America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah,
I used to watch
reels
that.
are hilarious. Yeah,
The scaring,
Classic.
the people getting scared. I don't know what that is. It's like the
Yeah.
vulnerability. It's like it's their true self.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, when that lady
fear.
tried to get out of the way of that snake, you could tell
that was her.
she was terrified.
I love it.
And I don't know why I thought that was so funny. But
All right, perfect. That was a perfect answer to that question.
Yeah.
Second question: what would you consider to be your superpower?
oh wow, my personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think you gotta be careful how you answer this because I don't want to sound arrogant and
I
cocky.
know.
Like,
Who I am.
Yeah,
is
who
my
I
super-
am. I just walk in the room
I'm
and light it
funny.
up.
This is money.
Right. No, but I think I'm more like that's like my ability to connect with people.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's led me to like I live by this quote: "Your life moves at the speed of your relationships."
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I live by that is because it's true to me. Like my relationships is how I've been able to navigate through dark times, hard times, good times, in between times, and the ability to be resilient and adapt is just my personality, like my ability to connect with people.
Yeah.
And I think that's just God given.
Yeah. Man, great answer. My dad used to always tell me never make an enemy. And part of it was you never know when you might need something, but also very similarly, I mean, when you're an entrepreneur, you know, if you want to get through life, we can't do it alone. And if you're a jerk,
Yeah.
you know, you ain't got anybody.
Yeah, if you're a jerk, you better be very wealthy and have parents that have you have an inheritance lined up for you.
Maybe land in
Right.
go hand
It's
in hand.
like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's a good point. And there's a kind of a sales aspect to it where you're kind of selling yourself and building trust and relationships and authenticity and what goes around comes around. I mean, you treat people well, they treat you well. And
I heard somebody say last year I was talking to them, they were like, plant your flowers on your way up because you will need to pick them on your way down. It was like, wow, that was deep. So, yeah.
That's good. All right. So third question, and how long have you lived in Charlotte?
Was it 23? Yeah, so 11 years. I got here around 2012.
Okay.
So, yeah, I've been here for a while.
So because this is kind of a Charlotte-oriented podcast, I like to ask guests if they would share some sort of hidden gem of Charlotte that you like to enjoy. It can be a restaurant. It can be a park bench. It can be a person.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to share some of this stuff because they want to keep it to themselves.
Right,
But
right.
whatever
You
you
don't
feel
want it to
comfortable
get overly
sharing.
Yeah. No. So that's a tough one. However, I will share this one place that I think is a hidden gem. Have you ever been to Winghaven?
Yes, the flower garden, the garden.
Yeah, the garden. Yeah, like the bird sanctuary.
Yeah, off Selwyn.
Yeah, like it's insanely beautiful.
It is.
And like majestic. Like it's everything.
It's
and
so
it's like
nice.
smack dead in the middle of a neighborhood.
I know. It's right next to
Like-
the house.
Right. Like it's unbelievable. So I found out about this place because I write children's books and I went to go read at one of their seed garden and reading to their kids. And I just like was like, wow, like this, like you're there and you really feel like you're in the middle of a garden, like a forest.
Mm-hmm.
And you walk out and you're like, there's a car speeding by you, like going way too fast in a residential neighborhood. And so, so I would say that is a hidden gem. If you like peace, quiet, walking in the garden,
Mother Nature.
if you like that, you don't have to go to Boone to get it. You can,
Right.
The only thing they're missing is a mountain, but it's
Right.
which they have. It's a organic. It is pretty cool, and it's a bird sanctuary. So if you like birds, like I'm a big bird person. Like I like birds.
Mm-hmm.
I like that type of environment. And so it's, hidden gem.
Love it.
Wink Haven.
Man, great answer there.
Yep.
Yeah, I have not spent enough time there, but now thank
Yeah.
you for answering that, because that's
Yeah.
going to push me over there. Man, the peacefulness
Yeah.
I remember. All right, well, let's dive into the meat of this conversation. And our audience has heard this, but I've had a couple guests on here, and I say let's get into the meat, and they're vegan.
Well, I'm not.
Neither
I
am
just
I.
had some ribs yesterday.
I know, exactly. I'm like, let's get into the meat, and they're like, oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
More for me.
I can't think of another word to use in this question, but all right, let's dig in. So the big question, where in your life are you making a difference in the lives of others? I understand that's vague in general, and there's a lot of different ways we can go with that, but let's start. Let's start however you want to start.
Yeah, I think for me, so I'll use the word social capital.
Yeah.
So social capital is a powerful word in the sense that I believe, and most people believe, right, that you are the sum of your 5 closest friends. So whatever that looks like, you can, like my mom used to say, you show me your friends, I'm going to show you who you're going to be. You need to stop hanging with that boy.
Yeah,
and I'm
that
like,
one.
Right. In his face. Like, he right there. Like, Ma, he's standing right next to me.
That one.
Like, literally standing right next to me while you just pointed at him. And I think that it's not rocket science, right? Like, that is, I think most of us can agree. Parents, leaders, role models, coaches, whoever it is, I think we can all agree that if you hang around good people, smarter people, you'll be better. But for whatever reason, we don't do that as much as we probably should. And I think
it's not always the most fun.
Yeah, and it's very uncomfortable, right? And so, like, for my company, what we're doing around meeting people you usually wouldn't meet disrupts that, right? Because what it does is it allows you to get into other communities, be around other people, and sports gives that to you. Like, I think sports, like Nelson Mandela said it best, and these are one of the quotes that our program is rooted in, is he says sports has the power to change the world. It speaks the language youth understand. And that's so true, right? Like, that is so true.
Yep.
And I think every coach, anybody involved in youth sports should listen to Nelson Mandela's. It should be required that they listen to his speech around sports and before they even start. Because if you can keep that essence of what he's saying, we will have better coaches, we'll have better teams, we'll have better everything. We'll have better sport, we'll have better everything, because the root of it all is for you to meet someone that you normally wouldn't meet, connect with them, and figure out how to improve one another's life. Yeah. And that's social capital. Like, that
team
up. And and I think that also, just going deeper, I think that solves Charlotte's economic mobility issue. Like, I think it's centered around, who do you know? Yeah. Like, I could be the smartest person in West Charlotte, right? Graduate in the top percentage of the city. But if I don't know anybody, if I'm not connected with anybody,
that's right.
If I can't get that intern or that job, then what is it for? And that's where the discouragement and the hurt comes from. It's like, I don't know anyone. And I think that's what we're trying to solve. We're trying to connect kids younger so that the young man or young girl in West Charlotte that's in 4th grade has now grown up with your daughter or your son who might live in South Charlotte. And they've literally grown up together. Like, they went from 4th to now they're graduating. And now it's like, oh, your dad does this. And now you have a real, genuine, organic relationship. Yeah. And that matters.
Heck yeah, it does. So go back to your company.
Yep.
Yeah, because when you answered my company, what is your company?
Yeah, Sport Mode 1. I mean, we are a company that is centered on youth sports. We do events. We do camps. And again, our number one goal is for kids to meet people they usually wouldn't meet, for teams to meet other teams they usually wouldn't come in contact with. So we do high school events here in the Charlotte area. The George Lynch Invitational, which you were a sponsor at and you were involved in. And then we do the Phenom Hoops Classic that we'll be doing again this year. And then we have teams, AAU teams, 7-on-7 football teams, which we connect kids from South Charlotte, West Charlotte, and other communities where they play and enjoy one another and get better. And we have great coaches. We have great coaches, and that's where we kind of lean our hat on, is having the best coaches in the city, because all kids deserve quality coaching and a quality team experience, and that's what we believe.
Yeah. Man, I mean, we could do this for an hour. So the coaches, tell me more about how you find the coaches. I mean, obviously, I feel like they're probably drawn to your mission and drawn to you. It's probably not very hard, but you also have to find talented coaches and coaches that, meet the mission and are effective in facilitating these friendships and these relationships and this growth together.
Yeah, no, I think our coaches, it's like, again, it goes back to that who you hang with, because they refer other good coaches.
Yeah.
And so if you're good and you have core values that align with ours, you typically recommend someone that kind of is cut from that same cloth.
I know somebody.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Because we don't prioritize winning over character. We prioritize having good families that have young people who want to get better, families that care about mentorship, the community of Charlotte, not just theirs where they live, but also surrounding communities. And also that they care about accountability. Like, not everybody wants their kid getting yelled at. Not everybody wants their kid being held accountable. And I think for our coaches, this is one of our missions. Coming out of this past season, we had a coaches meeting. We do surveys, get parent feedback, player feedback. And one of the big things that I'm learning is, and I said this to our coaches, how do we take the judgment out of our communication, out of our coaching, and leave the accountability? And I said, hey, we're not going to solve that today, because every school system in America has been trying to solve that forever. Sure. So we're not going to probably solve it
on
today,
on the whiteboard.
but we need to keep it in the forefront of our mind.
Yeah. Because
sometimes our communication in competition turns to judgment.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can't shoot. You can't. Like, and it gets aggressive depending on what's at stake.
Sure.
And how many times you've had to tell a kid that. Yeah. Like, sometimes you could be coaching a kid and you feel like they're embarrassing you, or your ego gets bruised because the team looks as if they haven't even touched the basketball in 2 months.
Right.
And you're upset. Like, y'all look like we haven't done anything.
Yep.
And that's an attack on me, right? It's me. And so you begin to communicate in a way, and loud.
Y'all making me look bad now.
Right. And now you want to make the people watching, you want to let them know that it isn't you.
Right.
So the louder you get,
sure.
And it hurts kids.
I get
like
that.
We're hurting kids. Like,
yeah.
And so we have to, and listen, I'm guilty of it. We're all guilty of it.
It's human.
But how do you do that but keep the accountability? Like, you shooting the ball off the side of the hoop isn't good enough. Right? So instead of me telling you, you can't shoot, it's, what can I do to put you in a better position to succeed? Because this is not it. Like, this is not going to work, right? So it's just, but as adults, how do we have the discipline and the emotional intelligence and the resolve to even calm ourselves down?
To do that effectively. Yeah.
And that is the number one focus for the coach that I've given our coaches this year, is how do we get better there? And so coaches that are good for us appreciate that accountability. that's why we're so good, is that our coaches allow one another to check them. Most men don't. Like, most coaches, they know everything. They're
Sure.
And so it's hard for them to be held accountable. So if I were to tell that to most coaches, they would get offended. Like, they would be like, who are you to, like I know more than you. And it's like, well, that's not what it's about. Yeah, that's not the point.
Right. And well, and
that's what makes our coaches so great, is because they're open to that discussion.
Exactly. I mean, that's what make people great.
Yeah.
Right? Like, often I have this conversation around just what it takes to get through this world without struggling and suffering and having your mental health issues and having all this stuff. It's like, if you're open to help, if you're open to growth, if you're open to vulnerability, if you're open to discomfort, it's the only way to grow.
Yeah.
And if you're not, you ain't helping anybody.
Yeah, and it always starts with people. Like, I learned this in business. There's this people, process, strategy. You show me a successful anything, just look at the people. The people are magnetic. The people are amazing. The people listen. The people are open.
Mm-hmm.
The people, like, I heard a quote, we write everything in pencil. The people are okay with writing it in pencil. You coming along and erasing it, coming up with something else, and them not getting offended. It's like, it's written in pencil because I'm open to it being erased.
Change. Yeah.
And changed.
Open to change. Yeah.
And that's my life. Like, that's who I am. Like, that's what I'm about. And that's what I try to, give off to our coaches, is that, listen, man, just because I'm leading this and I'm growing this doesn't mean that I'm not open to changing it.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be successful. And whatever that looks like I want to be the Denver Nuggets. I want to win the championship.
Mm-hmm.
If that means I'm dust mopping floors, cool. Because guess what? Everybody in the Nuggets organization gets a ring. That's what people don't realize. Even the janitors. Like, everyone gets one. Like, that's insane to think.
That.
It's like who?
Bam.
I got a ring.
Yeah.
And it's like, what role did I play in it? It may not have been a role that I wanted to play coming in.
But it was a role.
But it was a role, and we've won. And that's the thing that I'm trying to get everybody in my program to understand, is that if we win, we all win.
Mm. Wow, Lawrence, that's some powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have any program, any organization that you are emulating, that you're learning from and saying that's what we need to be like?
Other
than the Denver Nuggets?
I know, right? People that win in championships.
Right.
I think
just that mentality.
Yeah, the answer to that is no, actually. What I'm looking at is, so the book by Peter Thiel called 0 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the reason I call my company Sport Mode 1.
Yep.
Is because what I'm looking at is innovation, not necessarily another program.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm looking at Red Ventures.
New.
I'm looking at
fresh
companies that Passport, like just different companies across the country, across our city, who are leading in innovation.
Mm-hmm.
Yourself, like Patrick, like just whoever's doing something where they're going 0 to 1,
mm-hmm.
where, and listen, there's nothing wrong with copying somebody, right? Like, I didn't invent AAU teams, right? Like, that's I didn't invent a basketball program or tournaments. Like, that's not innovative.
Mm-hmm.
However, connecting kids and communities could be, like, I think that's innovative.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think everyone's doing that.
No.
Giving scholarships we gave those scholarships out at George Lynch Invitational to graduating seniors.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody's doing that. Like, so trying to figure out how to truly create innovation. Because in that book, Peter Thiel challenges what people think is innovative.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, that's not innovative. They copied the person, which is nothing wrong with that, right?
Right.
Like,
do it
but
first or do it better.
Innovative. Like that. Google is innovative, right? They went
Sure.
0 to 1, right? Like, and so I'm really trying to crack that code. Like, there are treasures that have not been found in this space of basketball, youth development, youth that I want to find. And so I try to look at other companies that do that well, and I try to reach out to them, connect with them to see how do they see the world? Like, how do they see the community? How do they see Charlotte? Charlotte is a growing city. There's so many things that are going to happen here in the next 10 years that don't exist today, that do not exist right now in Charlotte. And I want to be one of those leaders that finds one of those hidden treasures that is not in existence right now. And that's my goal. So I'm not necessarily looking at other programs. I'm just looking at other leaders and trying to learn and follow and try to, maybe, as I'm following them, I find my own
inspiration. Yeah, and that was kind of the reason of that question was to more narrow down on the uniquity of it and how unique and original is your mission, and it sounds very, very.
Yeah, that's what we hope. Yeah, we hope that it's.
I like it.
A one of one. So we'll see.
Check back in with me.
Right.
That's great. So, how do you think that your mission can ripple out and translate into the community?
Yeah, I think, light attracts light, man. I think we don't do a ton of promoting. Like, it's one of those things where that we exist because of the parents that tell their friends. I learned that from Movement Mortgage. Like, what Casey Crawford and his team are doing over at Movement, like, I don't think they've ever had a commercial on TV. Like, and it's like
people talk about
things. And they have the #1 market share in this area. And it's like, how is that? And you don't see any billboards, you don't see commercials, anything. It's word of mouth.
Because they do it well.
They do it so well.
Right.
And so that's what I go back to, me watching these guys. And I listen and I learn. And I'm like, wow, why would I waste money on this when I could just do it well? Do it so well that people are talking about it. And that becomes my marketing. That becomes my everything. Because people are, if you want your child cared about and pushed and challenged and connecting with other people, go to Lawrence Gordon. Like, go to his company. Like, he'll get it there. And he listens to us as parents. He listens to the kids. Like, so that's it in a nutshell. It's like, the ability to be so good. It goes back to the when was the last time you seen a Rolls Royce commercial?
Right.
Or Ferrari? Like, they don't make commercials. It's like we are.
Yeah, you know who we are.
Yeah, you know who we are, right? Like, and if you can,
that's right,
afford, and if you can come, and even for us, it's because we do so many scholarships. It's not even. It's just the tier that we're in. We want to be in a space where, if you need help, you know where we are.
Yeah.
Every newsletter I send out, I'm like, hey, if you need financial assistance, call me. Like, it's not this long, laborious process. No, if you need help, we got your back.
Yeah.
We're a for-profit, and people wonder, like, how are you giving that many scholarships out and you're not a nonprofit? Like, you're here to make money, and yet you're
giving money,
and you're right. And it's and so that's. People have asked me that, like, how are you doing that? Like
how are you doing it?
Parents.
Yeah.
Literally, parents will register their child and pay for another child.
Oh.
And you ask yourself, how good is that person?
Yeah.
And they don't want recognition. They don't want their name on anything. They don't want any of that. They just want to know. They want
another
it's their
kid
way.
In there.
It's their way of saying, Lawrence, this program is not going anywhere. Selfishly, I need this for my child. What do I need to do to make sure that this thing stays funded, stays well? And you don't need to be a nonprofit. You need to know how to make money.
Yeah.
Because we want to see you grow so you can help empower more kids, hire more kids, grow. And the way you do that is you can do that as a nonprofit, but these are leaders in my company and my parents. I got some of the best parents in Charlotte. Like, not to drop any names, but it's like, we have some amazing parents that are some of the smartest men and women in the city. So they'll come give me some gems of like, hey, this is how you should do this, or this is what you need to be doing. Every parent needs to be sponsoring another kid.
Ooh,
like every parent. Like if you're in this zip code, every parent should be sponsoring another kid.
Sure.
And so it rubs off. Like it rubs off where then now a company comes in, and they're like, hey, I want to sponsor this team, or I want to sponsor this tournament. I see you have these high schools coming from these different communities. We want to give scholarships to those kids, or we want to do this, or we want to. So it's a way for companies and other people, like the nonprofits we partner with, Love Boat and Jane's Fund. Like they're led by, amazing people who love this community. Madeline's Fund. Some of these foundations were birthed out of someone losing their child.
Yeah.
Or with Love Boat, with Kitty Gardner passing away. Like these groups, but yet and still, they give to other people's kids. And I think the world of those three foundations.
Yeah.
And they lock arms with me, and they help support what I do, and I appreciate them, and as well as Movement Mortgage and those groups. Yeah. Wow.
All right. So when I post this interview, and hopefully you'll share it as well, it's gonna be on YouTube, and in the description I'm gonna have everything you want me to have on there.
Yeah.
And I'll put all those groups you just mentioned, but more importantly, let's say it right now. My question is, how can I and our listeners support your mission? Website, give, donate, scholarship, sponsor a kid, what can we do?
Yeah, I think the one thing that we're trying to, it's like a re-education when it comes to youth sports is, and I'll get there in a second, is parents, when your child gets into the car from their game, give them grace. Like, they don't need another.
What the hell happened?
Shit. Yeah, I spent all this money on training.
What happened tonight? You only got 14?
Right. You need to decide right now. Are
we doing this or what?
Right.
Yeah.
At fifth grade.
Sorry.
At second grade, right? It's like, what just happened, right? Like parents, like, let's lead with love. Like, you have time.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Take it easy.
Take it easy. That's one of our asks, is like, just patience. Visit us at sportmode1.com, sportmodeone.com. Follow us at Charlotte Skill Factory, Sport Mode 1 on Instagram.
Charlotte Skill Factory, Sport Mode 1. Okay.
Our Charlotte Skill Factory is our basketball arm of our teams. And if you feel led to donate or give a sponsorship, we're not a nonprofit, so it's not necessarily a donation, but you would just be sponsoring a kid. There's a way to give on there. Support our nonprofits, Love Boat, Madeline's Fund, Rally Charlotte, Jane's Fund. You can donate to them for.
Yep.
Give, because they all support us, be it with resources, money, people, love, prayer, fill in the blank. Like they got our back, and we have theirs. And so that's what we ask. I think if you have a kid, sign them up.
Right. Play some ball.
I know every kid's name in our program. Every one. Why is that? Because I talk to every parent before they sign up. And if they register before I talk to them, I call them, and I want to talk to them. Because, most people are like, how do you find time to do that? Because it's mine, and I care. And I want to make sure that people understand that we value sports, communication, education, community, talking about race, talking about the things that our city needs to talk about. And it might trickle down to our kids. It might just stay with the parents and coaches and us talking about it. But we need to have a safe place where we can discuss things that matter to our city. Because this is what's going on in our city.
Mm-hmm.
We might want to hear it or we might not,
Mm-hmm.
but it's happening.
Oh, yeah.
And I think if we can create a space for our kids to come, be pushed, developed, grow, be held accountable, and we can create a safe space for that to happen, then we need support to do that. And that's what we're about, and that's what we're doing.
Perfect.
I got to give a shout out to my kids too,
Hit them up.
and my wife. Can't not say
No.
I got a crew, the Gordon Six.
Reel them off.
Yeah, so shout out to them. My kids, my
Love
family.
it.
One, yeah.
Love it. What are the ages?
14, Lauren, my happy heart, Lambo Landon. My son, I think he gave himself that song nickname. He said he asked me.
I know you didn't give it to him.
Right. Like he said he wants his first car to be a Lamborghini. I'm like, yeah. So about that. So Landon 13, Henry, Elliot 3 and 1, and so I'm all over the place. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, wide range of experience. I call it that.
Yeah.
And then my wife
Yep.
Sarah. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. I bet it's a delightful family.
Oh yeah, you should come by sometimes.
Yeah,
around
love to.
4:30, Monday through Friday.
The witching hour. Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
All right. Nominate one person to sit in this seat.
My guy Lamar Hall.
Lamar Hall. You've been called.
Lamar, you have been called to the principal's office. So yeah, that's my guy, man.
Okay.
I love that guy. He is a true. When you talk about a hidden gem, like I could have named him. He's a hidden gem. He's someone that has an amazing story of just resilience, of someone looking at him in his face and telling him you're not good enough, and then him resigning and becoming what they said he couldn't become. Even to the point where they called him to hire.
I was wrong.
Right, like, can we hire you? Right,
Yeah.
like, how crazy is that? Like,
badass.
yeah, he is. So I'll let him tell the story, but he's an inspiration to me too, because entrepreneur, just an amazing guy.
Sweet. Well,
Yep.
help me get to him.
Yeah, I'll connect y'all.
And then last but not least, 3 words to remember you by.
Oh man, 3 words to remember me by. I was about to say something crazy, but
Man, feel free. Whatever you want.
no, 3 words to remember me by. Family. I think, I love my family, and I'm trying to create another extended family through this program, through this company. So family, social capital is, again, I just believe in it. Like I'm planting my flag there. Like I want that to be the thing that I'm known for, helping encourage in this city is that. So family, social capital, and resilience. Yeah, let's go there. So
Perfect.
resilience. So family, social capital,
And resilience.
and resilience. I think
Perfect.
those are my words.
Well, I'll remember you.
Yeah. Now, that's one person.
Yep. That's all that matters.
That's all
Yeah.
that matters, right?
All right, Lawrence Gordon, thank you for coming into Everybody Studios, being a part of Everybody in Charlotte.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I'm Lawrence Gordon, and I am everybody.